Hello, my name is Jermani Baxter. I am a senior at Florin High School. I am also in the Florin High School Law Academy. It's a really nice academy. If you transfer here, you should join this academy. It's a really nice one. But on to the book. I am going to be doing a book review on a book I've read many, many times. It is called He's With Me by Tamara Summers. I don't think it's part of a series, but there are others in this line. They have this line called I Heart Bikinis, and there are others in this line by different authors. There's Island Summer by Janine Lanai and What's Hot by Caitlin Davis. But Lexi is the main character, and she talks about, in the beginning, she talks about how she'd rather sit at home doing arts, or if she were to go to a club, she'd rather do an art program than anything like tennis or swimming or something like that. She likes to swim, but she doesn't want to wear bikinis, and that's all her mom wants her to wear is bikinis. And I say tennis because this whole book is centered around tennis and swimming. You'll see. You have to read it to understand what I mean, but tennis and swimming are the two sports that are entertained in this book. And so Lexi is in love with her brother's best friend, Jake. And Jake is sort of a ladies' man who wants to be in a relationship, but he gets all the ladies, but he doesn't want those ladies unless they're ready for a serious commitment. They come at him, he brushes them off. And so Jake breaks up with his long-term girlfriend, and Lexi sees an opening because she never really liked the girlfriend. I mean, who would like their crush's girlfriend anyway? But then the most popular girl in town, Bree, likes Jake now. And so she sees that as a threat. And Jake is scared of Bree because, everybody's scared of Bree. She has money and she's kind of evil. She can make people disappear with a snap of her fingers, apparently. So, everything goes to crap when Colin, Lexi's brother, recommends that Lexi and Jake pretend to date to keep Bree away. And then there's problem arising with Riley, this boy who comes out of nowhere and starts flirting with Lexi, and Jake gets jealous even though they're only pretending. So, everything isn't really what it seems to be like in this book. So, I'm going to tell you about these characters. There are, I believe, 8 characters. I know. There are 8 characters. There's Lexi, Jake, Colin, Sally, Bree, Riley, and Mrs. Willis. I'm going to put her in there because she's the mom, and she's in the book a couple times. So, I'm going to talk to you about Lexi first. In the beginning, Lexi isn't as confident, and she doesn't like to speak out loud, and she was really scared of Bree when she first started talking to her. But then, throughout the book, she starts to gain more confidence, and she sticks up for herself, and she lets it known that Jake belongs to her, even though Jake doesn't belong to her. It's kind of funny, actually. And Colin, her twin brother, he is the type of boy who's not afraid to say what he's thinking, but he won't say anything unless he's spoken to. That makes sense. And he keeps to himself most of the time, and he loves to read, and he only has one friend, who is Jake. And now if we talk about Jake is the more outgoing one. He does all the sports. He's everything you could really want in a boyfriend, except he's a dork. And he likes to read, and he's friends with Colin, and they're all tight. So, Jake is really your ideal boy to introduce to mama, right? Moving on to Bree. Bree is the type of girl who has the attitude of what I want, I get what I want. And she wants Jake, but Jake doesn't want her. But that is not stopping her from going after what she wants. And it's pretty obvious that Lexi and Jake are together. But that doesn't stop her from flirting with Jake, calling him all types of cutesy little names, And she basically has an attitude is that she doesn't care because I want it and he's going to belong to me. And Sally is like the most nicest character who's misunderstood and practically forced to do what others are doing. Sorry, I had something on my tongue. And it's kind of a little... Sally is what you would call Bree's minion, per se. And it gets kind of sad because Bree drops her because she doesn't listen. And she doesn't like to speak her mind, and she does everything that she's told. So she's kind of like a follower instead of a leader. You'll see it throughout the book. But then she builds her own strong confidence. And it's actually a very glorious thing to see. And then you have Mrs. Willis, who's the mom, and she basically wants Lexi to be the most girliest girl that you could ever have. Lexi doesn't like to wear bikinis. Mrs. Willis wants her to wear bikinis. And it's kind of repetitive throughout the parents. Like, you want your child to be something that you're not, and that's exactly what Mrs. Willis is pushing on Lexi until really towards the end, where she finally understands that Lexi isn't who she wants her to be. She kind of helps out, though, throughout the book. It's so cute how they help out. It's so cute, I promise you. Sorry. And then the last character I'm going to talk to you about is Riley. Riley, at first, was in trouble. You didn't really pay no mind to him because, I mean, it was just cutesy little... He had a crush on a girl who was already taken. And he didn't know that she wasn't really taken. I mean, why are you going to tell the plan to some boy you don't know to probably almost get your plan ruined? So he really is getting in the way of everything and kind of making it worse. And in the end, you see that he's really more of a jerk than what you really thought. So that's about Riley. And the characters, those are all the characters in the book that are, well, important. All the other ones only show up like once. The author, Tamara Summers. She wrote this book really, really good, and I would read so many more books by her if I could find some. When I find some, I'll do another review on it because I love this book, and I really think that I would love some more of her books. She wrote it really well. The tone was set. Like, I could feel the character's emotions when she wrote, and it was so good. And I give it a 6.5 out of 5 stars, which it makes no sense, but I really do. It's such a good book. Overall, I thought the author really pushed this into a teenager's everyday life. I like the way how she pertained it to it, per se, because teenagers go through this every day, like the little love concept and how we don't understand it. It's like that in the book. She made it really known that it's like how us as real life teenagers, and not in fairy tale books or in any type of book like that, feel like this every day. So, I mean, it's a good read. I'd read it again and again and again, which I have. I've had this book since I was in 8th grade, and I read it for the... can't even tell you. I have too many. I only have 10 fingers to count. So I've read it more times than that. So this is a really... This is a really good book, and I completely recommend it. But thank you. Have a nice day, and I hope you read this book.